sdi7 HIIT workout of the day from close quarters. Visualize yourself being grabbed or choked. It's a double knee kick to get that person to weaken the grip. Arm comes over the top, straight in with the elbow strike, palm strike, rising elbow strike, whipping elbow strike, direct elbow strike, spin, elbow strike, and then back. Again, 1, 2, elbow, palm, rising elbow, whipping elbow, direct elbow, spin, elbow. Okay, so you already did the sdi7 fighting skill for 1 minute, 60 seconds. Now you're gonna go into the explosive or strength movement. Here we go, I have 30-pound dumbbells here. You're gonna be on this for 60 seconds. You go into the burpee, we're gonna add that push-up with a row, come in, double knee tuck, and then press overhead. Again, burpee, push-up, row, double knee tuck. Do that for 60 seconds. Light it up, right back and towards the back. Hi, Rob Fletcher here with sdi7 HIIT. Today I'm going to show you a combination. I'm going to give you progressions and I'll also give you modifications, so depending on what level you're starting at. Today's movement, this is from close quarters, so if someone were choking you or pressed or was pressing you up against the wall, I'm going to explain what to do in that situation. And then I always emphasize, you know, your different mindset zones: red, gray, green, and yellow. You know, you want to avoid being in the red zone, which is paralyzed by fear. You want to avoid being in the yellow zone, where you're overcome by fear and you just don't know what to do. You want to stay in a gray zone, a neutral state, and then ultimately going into the green zone, which is go. And the most important part to remember is to your target areas: your eyes, your nose, and your groin. So in any self-defense situation, of course, depending on your level of fighting ability and skills, I'm emphasizing the eyes, the nose, and the groin. So again, this is as if you were being choked. It could be a shirt grab, it could be a choke, it could be you're pressed up against the wall. And I really don't care what anyone says in that situation. If you are overpowered to try to do anything other than to get that grip to loosen or weaken first before you initiate the next movement is sort of wasted time and energy. So I want to emphasize weakening that grip, because that person, as much as your adrenaline and your stress is over the top, they are attacking you, so they're at that same place, so we want to get them to loosen that grip. So the first thing, this is, if you're starting out, I'm going to give you the first skill, fighting skill, and then if you know this movement, I'm going to show you a progression. So again, you're pressed up into the wall or you're being choked. The first thing we want to do is we want to get this grip to loosen or weaken. So here, we're in close quarters. We're just going to pick that knee up and you're going to drive it right into the groin. Okay, so it's going to be 2 times. It's going to be 2 quick strikes. Immediately, that grip, if you connect to the groin, is going to weaken. Once that happens, you're taking a step back. The left hand is coming up over the top and you're lunging straight into the face, right into the nose area, and you're coming back. So your first skill, and then like I said, I'll give you a progression, is this movement. From here, 1, 2, over the top, elbow strike is 3. If you're okay with that, practice that movement. I'm going to give you the next progression. So again, close quarters, they are choking you or grabbing you. You want that grip to weaken. It's 1, 2, over the top, into the face, and now we're coming in with the palm strike straight to the nose, and now we're going to spin 180 degrees with an elbow strike, and then back to this position. So again, for progression, we are here. You're being choked or grabbed. Get that grip to loosen or weaken. It's 2 knees. You're stepping back, arm whips over the top of their arms, lunging straight into the face with a direct elbow, and then a palm strike. You're spinning around with an elbow strike. And then back to a fighting stance. In a real self-defense situation, the objective, the goal is to get that attacker to be paralyzed through a strike and then you escape the situation. Okay, so we'll go through that again. If you're just starting out, this is your movement. It's 1, 2, 3, elbow strike. If you're okay and comfortable with that fighting skill, your progression, you're adding the palm strike and the spin elbow strike. So it's 1, 2, elbow, palm, spin, elbow, and then back to a fighting stance. But again, in self-defense, it's not fighting stance. It's once you get those moves in, if that person is hurt, you're out of there. You are gone. So again, that's the skill, that's the movement part of it. Now I'm going to take you into your explosive strength movement. So again, you're doing the fighting skill for 60 seconds. Then you're going to go to explosive movement where you are going all out. And again, I'll give you progressions, modifications, depending on your fitness level, on what you can do and what you're comfortable with starting out at. So again, the fighting skill, slower, focus on the movement. Again, visualize this attack. Visualize what's happening. Premeditate an attack or a grab. Again, you're here. It's the 2 knees to get that person. You're hitting the groin. Now from here, that foot comes back, elbow strike, palm strike, spin, elbow, and then out. And now we're going to go into the explosive movement or the strength movement component of it. 7 HIIT workout of the day from close quarters. Visualize yourself being grabbed or choked. It's a double knee kick to get that person to weaken the grip. Arm comes over the top. Straight in with the elbow strike, palm strike, rising elbow strike, whipping elbow strike, direct elbow strike, spin, elbow strike, and then back. Again, 1, 2, elbow, palm, rising elbow, whipping elbow, direct elbow, spin, elbow. Okay, so this is a quick recap of sdi7. Target areas. This is for street situations, especially if you're not a skilled fighter. I hope that you never have to use self-defense, but the reality is, society is what it is. So everyone should know self-defense, especially women and teenage girls. So I'm going to do a quick review of SDI basic strikes. Remember, we are always focused on the eyes, the nose, and the groin. And you always want to visualize yourself in the situation. So if I say someone's grabbing you, I want you to feel that. And even if you're not going at 100%, I still want you to feel, okay, I'm being grabbed, because I need you to premeditate what you will do if you were attacked. Remember our zones: red zone, yellow zone, green zone, and gray zone. We do not want to be in the red zone. That's when you're numb. You're paralyzed by fear, you're shocked, you have no clue, you black out. Yellow zone is you're overcome by fear, and again, you're in that zone where you just don't know what to do, you're panicked, and that could mean where you're just haphazardly throwing punches, but we want you to be in the gray zone, and ultimately, you have to go green, you go 100%. So, remember the target areas. Clear your mind, focus when you're striking, eyes, nose, and groin. So again, there's 2 types of stances. We have our neutral stance, so this could be if you were in close quarters or pressed up against the wall, someone's choking you, or you could be in a stand-up if you were actually about to fight, you could be in the boxer stance. In this stance, most people have no clue what you're about to do. So in this stance, they don't know what you're thinking, could be afraid, could have fear, but in your mind, you're thinking eyes, nose, groin. So I'm gonna go over the strikes with you. So from here, your hands are up. The spear hand strike goes to the eyes. So that's your spear hand. Fingers are together. It's just sort of like a quick little strike right to the eyeball. The next is your thumb gouge, and this can be used if someone's actually choking you and putting a lot of pressure there. And again, when they're choking you, that means that groin's right there. So groin, but here, you can grab the hair, grab the head, driving your thumbs into the eye socket. It's graphic, but it is what it is. You're fighting to survive. So here, you're coming in. It could be a jab with the thumbs, an eye gouge, or it could be an actual strike, grab, and put pressure on the eye socket. So that's your thumb gouge. The next up, we have our elbows. in our palms. So elbows are brutal and lethal. So there's many ways you can use the elbows. So the elbows, we'll start with behind. So if someone's behind you, again, the first thing you want to do, especially if someone's overpowering you, is you want that grip to be released, or you want it to weaken, an opportunity to do something where you can escape. So here, someone has you in a bear hug or comes up behind, it's going to be a quick strike with the elbow. The elbow can come around, and this one, you're actually going into the rib area. So you're coming here and here. Okay, so elbows. Now your elbow can also come up underneath the jaw, so a rising elbow. Okay, so again, if someone's behind you, and then if they're right behind you, you're coming around with your elbow. Okay, around with your elbow. And another movement is using the back of your head, or even moving forward. You know, I know that you typically probably wouldn't like to hit somebody using your head, but it's awesome and it works as long as you do it correctly. So from here, you just drop your chin. If they're close, if their face is right there, you're dropping your chin to your chest and you're driving. You can even step back and drive that head back. Drive that head back into their front or the bridge of their nose. If they're in the front, you're stepping forward with the headbutt. Stepping forward with the headbutt. So again, that's the head, and you're going to the face there. And again, from behind you, elbows. Just make this movement, make it a skill drill. Elbow, rotate the body, elbow, elbow, elbow. And if you're coming up, right underneath the chin, right underneath the chin, right underneath the chin. And then if around, you're just whipping that elbow around. Okay, so now we have the palm strikes. The palm strike, you are striking to the nose. So from here, you can either do it from close quarters, or if you have a little distance, you're stepping up and just driving your palm literally into their nose. And again, just like a punch, you want to keep this nice and tight, and then you want to rely the pivot of your hips, the rotation, to generate more power, and you're thinking about driving their nose to the back of their head, period. It's a street fight, fighting to survive. So again, you got your palm strikes. Now we go to our lower body, our kicks. Okay, there's two things that you can do here. Well, there's more than that, but for basic, for just starting out, my advice is you take each one of these skills and practice them one technique at a time. If you're not, if you're not a skilled fighter, of course, these are basic skills that you can practice. So from here, you're just a simple movement. It could be a cool down, it could be a warm up for your workouts, but you're just getting your body used to the strikes. Okay, so now we have our lower body here, your kicks, and again, that's going to the groin. So you can have some distance here. So if that person's a few feet in front of you and you expect that you're gonna have to use a fighting skill or self-defense, first shot to the groin, okay? So when you practice this, it's just a kick, make it nice and easy. Your hands are up, they can be closed or open. You know, practice with both legs. And then we have our knee. Knee, you're just picking that knee up and you're thrusting your hips forward. And so that workout can be back and forth, a warm up, it can be a cool down, knees, knees. And again, just getting yourself in the mindset of using these techniques if you ever have to, but not to instill a paranoid fear, a healthy awareness, but you're implementing it into your workouts in the gym and at home, so it's just part of your workout routine. And nothing better than having the added value of self-defense and how to fight back. Now I want to go back to the elbows because they're brutal and they're lethal. So we went over if someone was behind you, when you're in front. When you're in the front, from this position or any position, again, close quarters, you have a whipping elbow where you're coming around. You can just whip, or you can step up to close that distance. Now we have the direct elbow. As soon as you whip that elbow across, you're already there, you're gonna come back in with the elbow. So from here, I'm in a boxer stance, I'm stepping up, across, and straight in with that elbow. So again, this is the elbow, and that can be, of course, off the lead. Okay, that's the whipping elbow. We have the step-in elbow, where you're just stepping in, and you're coming straight up. You can, again, catch the nose underneath the jaw, and again, setting them up for the next strike or technique. So you have the rising elbow, you have the whipping elbow, you have the direct elbow. If you're just beginning, I don't advise you starting with spins, and when you're in a real self-defense situation, you don't want to do something that you are not confident is going to connect. So, if you were to spin, you spin 180 degrees, so my right foot is back. Now I'm going to step back and in with that elbow. So I spun 180 degrees. So if you can see my feet here, from here, I'm gonna close the distance. I'm stepping up, whipping elbow, direct elbow. Okay, if I want to spin, I'm spinning 180 degrees, I'm stepping back, and then in, and then back. Okay, so again, spin 180 degrees, step back, and in with a spinning, reverse spinning elbow. Very effective. You have the downward elbow where you're coming more in a downward motion. And then of course, if you do happen to get them on the ground or in a position, you have the descending elbow. So if you're able to take someone, control them by their hair, you're able to pull them down, and you can expose their face. You're dropping the top of your elbow right onto their face. Elbows are very effective. So those are your skills. Practice them single strikes at a time. That way you can add to them. Your progressions are, for example, 4 strikes, or if you want to create your own, you have the palm strike. You can do a step-up whipping elbow with a direct elbow, and then you can add your own progressions. So customize your workouts. Very important today to know how to fight back. Use self-defense as part of your workouts. Fight back and towards the fat.